And I agree. Now over to John Bruce.
Thank you, Tessa. It's Trial Tuesday once again. Today we're talking about child care facilities, what's regulated and what's not. It's come up recently after an alleged child incident right here in the Low Country. Charleston attorney David Aylor joins us this morning with much more on what parents need to look out for when researching different daycare facilities. Counselor, thank you as always for being here. We appreciate that. Let's talk about this case here in the Low Country. Tell us a little bit about what happened and where parents need to go from here.
Okay, in this specific situation, it's up in Goose Creek area. That was a child care center. There was an after-school facility. You know, it wasn't something for, babies, that sort of thing. It's going to be any school-age children starting around 5 to 6 years old, just for the afternoon program after they're out of school. And what's been alleged is that one of the directors and owners of this facility actually took it upon herself to spank a young boy, a 6-year-old boy, with a belt in the bathroom. And since then, a warrant has been put out for her arrest, and from what I understand, she's supposed to turn herself in tomorrow for assault and battery of 3rd degree for that spanking.
Okay, now this happens so many times. We see it splash across headlines all year long about these unlicensed daycare centers. What do parents really need to know, and what do they need to do before choosing one of these daycare centers?
Well, the thing that most parents don't know is examples like the one we're talking about here in Goose Creek is, since it's a part-time facility, it doesn't have to be licensed through DSS and through the state, essentially because the hours are, somewhere around 20 hours a week, just the 5 days a week after school. It's not going under the same regulations like what you would think and hope it would go under as so many, full-time daycares are.
Yeah, this Goose Creek facility, could this arrest affect her current business as far as continuing to watch children?
I don't know. Would you want your kids going there?
Certainly not. But now, if it's become a criminal case, will DSS, you said that they're not licensed, but will they get involved now that this alleged abuse has taken place?
I would think so. No different if it's within a family or some sort of public setting. Obviously, if there's been abuse that's been alleged, and it's far enough where the police have not only looked into it, looked into the complaint, for them to go as far as issuing the warrant, I think at this point you're going to see everybody taking a lot closer look at it.
Yeah, now there are those standard ones that have a reputable, reputation standing behind them, and then there are those ones that you kind of see off the beaten path a little bit, those daycare facilities that might just have a small sign out front that you say are part-time, not regulated. So really parents need to be wary of those.
Right. A lot of times, unfortunately for all of us, the financial side of it's an issue. So maybe while there's certain ones that are known as the pristine ones, you may not be able to get in because of waiting list, or also the cost may be too high. But even when you're on a budget, you need to be very careful where you're sending your children, not just look at the facility itself, but try to find information out about the people that run it, as well as other children that are there.
What would you kind of look for when you go into one of those places?
Well, obviously, the first thing you're going to look at is the organization of it. A lot of times these different incidents will occur simply because they're disorganized and things get out of hand. Beyond that, you want to see sort of what the reputation of the place is when you sit down with the owners of it, see if they provide you names of other families that have children there that, you're able to reach out to, almost like a job interview. That's really the best way to approach it.
And always so important to listen to your child, because they're going to be the ones that notice, and they'll probably try and tell you something if something's not right at one of these facilities. You just need to be, as a parent, attuned to listening to them and hearing that problem.
Absolutely. Even in this situation, from what I understand, obviously the first concern is whether or not the child's making the story up. But then once you can go through really the process of evaluating that, a lot of times there really are some scary things happening at these daycares.
How much does it take for one of those daycare facilities to get licensed by DSS?
Well, there's a number of things in regulations they would have to go through. That similar to like a restaurant with the Department of Health. The one you really see the issues with are the ones that don't have those licensing and regulations, because then you're not even looking at a background of the individuals that are employed there.
Can you ask for a background check? Let's say if it wasn't licensed by DSS, can you yourself as an individual parent go and find some kind of record on these people?
Yeah, ultimately you could do any personal investigation you want, but whether or not you're able to turn up any information would be kind of tough.
Absolutely. So I guess the main message here is be wary and do your homework.
Absolutely.
All right. David Aylor, thank you so much for your time, sir. As always, we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Much more Low Country Live coming up right after the break, so stay with us.